Hi there, Wargamers. It's the DanBringa here again. This time, bringing you the next part of my epic adventure. A little bit of a basing experiment, tutorial, or how I do things, whatever you want to call it. So, decided to base on MDF bases. As you can see, these are 26.5mm. Which is actually just slightly larger than a 2p piece. I was going to originally just base on some 2p pieces like this test one I did ages ago for a proof of concept. Then I just realised that they're a real pain in the ass to drill into, and so if I ever wanted to drill into something, it'd be a right pain in case I want to do some flying things or skimmers or something like that. So I decided to go for this one. Now, on war bases, these bases were 26.5mm, and it intrigued me. And it's because obviously the penny is 26mm, and obviously a little bit more, like half millimeter will make the bases look a bit less crowded when I put a lot of 5 Marines on it. So and also it was cheapest. So, ironically, for some reason, it was cheaper than 25. A bag of 50 of these or so was cheaper than a bag of 25mm bases for some reason. Anyway, I digress. So what we're going to do first is get these guys off the double-sided tape, which shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, like that. I might have to clean up the bottom of the base a little bit, so and then super glue them onto the bases. So I'm just going to do that off camera because you don't need to see me pulling Marines off tape, and then give them a quick tidy. I'll be back in 2 seconds when I'm ready to start gluing. Right guys, got them all off that double-sided tape and ready to go. I've separated them between bolters and others. Now the flamer, even though I've separated them, is only there for aesthetics, as are all the other special weapons that I've printed off. So, gonna have the heavy on one base and sergeant on the other. I don't think it really matters too much, but I'll put the special on with the sergeant just for my sake. So let's get some glue on the start for this heavy flamer. There we go. And let's get him situated somewhere on the base. It's hard seeing all this with my fingers in the way, sorry guys, but I'm sure you can stick something to something else. There we go. So, 4 random dudes next. I think I'll speed this up guys, so enjoy the music. There we go. Got those guys glued on there. So give that super glue a bit of time to set up properly, and we'll be back in a second guys for the next step. Right guys, as you can see I've got all these models glued onto these bases ready for the next step. Now the next step is to hide all these unsightly little bases that each model's on, and to do that I've got some basic filler, and we're going to very carefully just slap some on. So I'm going to clear these out of the way, and we'll show you how I do one, and then hopefully you get the idea, and we'll do the rest, or I'll do the rest off camera. Right guys, let's get that ready for that. 2 seconds. Right, let's see if I can do this without making too much of a mess of my paint jobs, and hopefully it'll be on camera. So, I'm not going to worry too much about getting it on the actual bases themselves, but obviously going to try and avoid getting it on the feet, because obviously they're painted. So I think I might just do a little bit of this in front of the camera, and then do the rest up close, because obviously it's going to be very easy to muck this up when doing it this far away from my eyes. Eyesight's not what it was. Yeah, so that kind of idea, guys. Just going to spread it around and get it in the middle, undulate it a bit, and then we'll be back in a second when it's all applied around the base, and I'll show you what it looks like. Right guys, I've managed to get it all around those bases nicely without obscuring too much detail. I also used a little bit of water on the tool to help smoothing it out at the end, so that's why it's got to look a bit wet. I'm going to leave that to dry now overnight, and then we'll be back with the next step once it's ready to work on. Right, I'm going to do the rest of the units, and I'll be back once it's ready for the next stage. Right guys, I sort of just raised a little point while I'm waiting these to dry. As you can see, got a nice big blob on the other side of that guy's leg. So I thought, oh, there's also a blob on that shoulder pad. Anyway, so I thought, best might as well tell those who don't know, good way to get rid of it. So I've got myself a brush. I'm not too worried if it gets knackered. And we've got a bit of water, so let's get a bit of water in the brush, and then just basically brush it away and keep diluting the filler till it's basically gone, or until you're happy with the amount of material there. There we go, it's getting a bit better, so there we go. Sorry about the focus on this thing's not really. There we go, it's better. So now it looks in basically mucky water around his feet. So there we go. Got rid of most of it and just give it a quick blow. See if that gets rid of that mucky water. There we go, it's looking a lot better. Not brilliant, but better than the big blob of filler on the leg anyway. Keep going at it if you when you decide you're happy with it. I mean, there's still a bit of water around the back there, so let's see if we can wick that away. There we go, a little bit better. Excuse me. So guys, just basically do that, and that's an easy one. There we go, that one's gone. Right guys, I'm going to leave these to dry, and we'll be back to show you what to do once that's dry. Right, now that filler's dried, it's time to think about getting some texture on there. I was wanting to go for like an urban setting rather than the typical grassy fields we've all ended up with on some of our epic stuff. So I've got my small grain, or whatever you call it, stuff here. I've got some aquarium sand, it's just happens to be black, some chinchilla sand, some decoration sand, believe it or not, which actually is got a very nice gold tinge to it, and some air drying plaster that's been rolled out quite thin, and then well, you break it up into small pieces, and it's got a nice texture on the inside as well. So it's all broken up into some nice variants. Basically, these can be bits of rubble. Right, I'm going to give it a bit of a clear away, guys, so I can get some room to work, and I'll be back in a second when I'm going to start applying some of the large rubble pieces first. Right, 2 seconds, guys. Right, guys, I've got some base ready to go, and we've got some of the larger, I say larger pieces, smaller of the large pieces set aside. So I'm going to basically stick in some of these large spaces, because they'll be actually able to get to those ones when it comes time to paint them. So could probably get away with PVA glue for this, but just using super glue because, well, one, it's faster. And we all know what how we all like our time to do better with things. No one wants to be waiting around for drying time if you can avoid it. Unfortunately, sometimes it's unavoidable, so we'll have try for 2 pieces here, maybe a tiny bit. I would have said that's a nice thin one there. That's no good. Let's move it off his feet. Let's see if we can find a smaller piece to go next to it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that one seems like a good one. There we go. I'm going to give that a few moments to cure up before we go start brushing around with some PVA for the next bits of rubble, and back in the tick for that, guys. Right, guys, we've got those little bits of building, I'd say, attached, and now we're going to go around the base with some PVA glue and hopefully not paint on the guys. Now, unfortunately, this is white on white, so you can't probably not going to be able to see this very well. But I'm just going to go around this base and paint into all the nooks and crannies around these rocks and the marine's feet. And I'm back in a second once we're ready to stick some bits on, because you can't really see anything there. You can't really see where I've gone. Right, guys, back in a tick. Right, guys, now I've got the PVA glue on there. Trust me, it's there, even though you can barely see it. We're going to go ahead with our larger bits now. Just let me raise that up because you excuse the messy desk, guys. So I've got the larger stuff. I'm going to try and sprinkle this around the blocks, bouldery things. Yeah, that'll do. I'll go on a bit more there. Hopefully this is going to simulate the smaller bits of rubble. Yeah, that should do us. And now I'm going to bring in the chinchilla sand and basically cover everything what's left. Now, unfortunately, we may lose a few toes to this. Yeah, I think we've got pretty much all of it. There's a few bits around the edge that the glue hadn't gone to, so oh, I mean, it looks like we got under someone's underarm as well. So let's get that off before it dries. There we go. It's like it was never there. So let's just do a bit of tidy up around the edges to get some, make sure it goes right to the edge. Obviously try not to get it on the actual lip for personal preference. If you want to do that, go ahead. There we go. Another bit down there. There we go. Yeah, chuck some more sand on there, hopefully it'll stick. And not go over the bits we don't want. Right, while it's wet, just work it off any place you don't want it. Oh god, they're looking terrible. Just give me a second to brown some of that stuff off. There we go. There we go. It's a bit dusty and there's a few bits here and there. Oh Jesus, man, making a right mess there. So I'm going to tap these models with a brush and get rid of all those bits I don't want that have managed to find themselves on the model. There's only like one or two there, here and there, which catapult off would have blew the dust off. Right, I think that's about right. There we go. Let's give that a quick look, and we'll leave that to dry for a bit. There's a bit of a bald patch there, but I'm not going to worry about that now. And we're back in a bit to give it a bit of time to set, and then we'll seal it on in a second, and then we'll see you soon for the next step. Right, I've got the base into normal bases. I've given it a bit of time to dry a little bit. Now it's time to seal it in so it doesn't basically flake off whenever you so much as just breathe near it. So got a pipette and some isopropanol alcohol, 99% stuff. Just going to drop some on there so it soaks around the base. Yeah, just put on the miniatures as well. It's alright, I'll just evaporate from them. There we go. That should do. Should all around. It's just going to break the surface tension. Now I'm just going to get a bit bigger brush than that. There we go. I've got some PVA glue that's been watered down like 50%, you know, half and half. I'm just going to just touch it on in areas. I mean, the one is I probably just could use a pipette, but I'm too lazy to try and find another one in my hobby room. I mean, this works as well. So I'm going to go around this and just drop some glue into the base, and we'll get it all sealed in, and we'll leave it overnight to cure. And we're back with the next step. We've got to try and get some paint on these things without covering all the minis in paint we don't want. Oh, because look, I've already put PVA glue on the guys. Anyway, guys, just get a clean brush. I'll wick that off in a second, and I'll see you in a bit when this is all dried. Right, guys, the base is dried nicely. All that stuff is nicely sealed on. It's not going to come off in any hurry. So now the grand task of getting this all in one uniform colour, unless you really want it looking like this, but it's not really for me. So I've got some German grey primer from Vallejo. I'm going to just basically prime the base again. Well, I say it again, I haven't primed it yet, but so I'm just going to go around the base, priming all this. I might even water this down so it flows into, I think it's a bit easier. Yep, so I'm going to go around all this and do some of it off camera because I don't want to get black paint on the Marines. Right, guys, I'll be back when I've done all these bases and we're ready for the next step. Right, guys, that black has dried nicely, and now we're going to start off with our greys. I'm going to go with the Fang, which actually kind of got a blue tint to it. Not quite as blue as it's showing up on camera, but you know what it is. So just going to dry brush the entirety of the black area and try not to get on the Marines. So I think we might need some more paint on the brush. Here we go. So just going to go around, doing my best to dry brush these rubbly stuff like that. Doubt this is going to really make that much difference colour wise, but this makes a nice little difference there, here and there. Some more paint. Going to go for quite a bit of cut, you know, like a fairly heavy dry brush here. Even if you're able to call this a dry brush at some point, I suppose. Alright, I think that'll do. I'm going to just double check it off camera to make sure I've got everywhere I need to get, like that bit there for instance, and back with the next colour, and I'll show you what it looks like when I've got all the pieces I need to get, which I can't get to on camera. Right, guys, back in a tick. Right, guys, the Fang has dried nicely. Now the next one is going to be Storm Vermin Fur. Another dry brush, so it's going to be hopefully a bit lighter than the last one. So I've got some on the brush already. So There we go, it's looking apart already. Obviously, I'm going to work up onto the larger stones a bit more than the little ones, hopefully. And there we go, a bit of a subtle change, but it's having the effect that it would need, I think. Just lighten, changing the tone of it slightly, as you can see between these two. Right guys, I'm going to go do the rest of these and then we'll be back for the next one in a bit. Right guys, once that's dry and we're going on to the next layer, it's going to be celestial grey and a dry brush. So again, I've got some on the brush, wipe most of it off. So there we go, just kind of light and spotty. Obviously, excuse me, a bit heavier on the big rubble. There we go. That's looking quite nice. Right, I'm going to go away doing the rest of these, just a bit there as well, a bit more. Yep. I'm going to go away and do the rest of these guys, I'll be back in a second for the next step. Right, after that celestial grey's dried guys, it's looking a bit nice like this, and now it's time to get some decoloration, saturation, whatever you want to call it. Basically it's going to be this brown wash. It's one of those ones that I found off Sonic Sledgehamer Studio. It's Alice Brown Wash, Agric Surf Shade, Serum Sepia, some medium and a little bit of Draconoff Nightshade. Link below in the video to those interested wanting to make it, and where I got the information for it. So I'm just going to paste this all over the base, get into all those nooks and crannies to create a nice bit of depth or something, I don't know. So I'm just going to go around all that. I'll be back once this is dried for the final step, and we'll be back. Well, I say it's final step, it's the second to last step. Right, see you in a tick, guys. Right, guys, last dry brushing stage after the wash is dried is to do a bit of a dry brush on the large stones or building parts, as I calling them. We've obviously got these Praxetti white, and we're going to hopefully do a really light dry brush over these bits just to bring the edges up to a bit brighter to make them pop. There we go, that's one done. There we go. I think that's all there is on that one. Yeah, it's just to make the larger boulders pop from the rest of the base. Let's do this one as well. Oh, on camera would help, wouldn't it? There we go. There we go, guys. So I'm just going to go around and do the rest of these bases, and I'll be back for the final stage, which is painting the edge of the bases. We'll see you there in a second. Right guys, final stage in this little tutorial is the edge of bases. Although before I do that, could you, if you hit that like button, I'd much appreciated. And if you want to drop us a comment of what you think of these models and the tutorial so far. So, simple steps. This one, just go around the outside edge of the base. Obviously, this is Vallejo Primer Black. So, just going to go around the edge of that base. Something I'm all sure you're very capable of. Might be able to get away with one coat here, but we'll see in a bit. So I'm going to go around these bases and just paint the edges in black. You could choose, of course, choose whatever colour you want. You feel whichever one feels right for your army. Right, there we go, guys. Gonna let that dry, and I'll do the rest of the bases, and I'll be back to give you some better shots of these things, and we'll be seeing in a bit. Right, guys, the edges of the bases have dried now. I think I've got away with just the one coat. I'm quite happy with how these have turned out, even though this is like 40 odd points or whatever. A really tiny percentage of the of an army. So these models are looking fantastic. Let me know what you think of these. Stay tuned for a bit of a showcase bit on the end of the video, just for some better photographs of these guys. And drop a subscribe and like and all that stuff if you could. That'd be great. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye now.